Rev up your engines!
Jake Jordan says, Scotty, do you like beer? I like a beer every now and then. I go more for the German Pilsner styles myself. I was in England recently, and they had some pretty good beers there. And they always laugh about, oh, the English drink warm beer. What a load of hooey. Their beer was just about as cold as it is here. They usually just store it in the cellars. But I noticed a lot of the pubs that I was at, they had refrigeration units in them too, so that's nonsense on that, you know. Yeah, I like having a beer now and then. Not too many of them, but I'm actually more of a rum man. I'm a rum aficionado. Best rum I ever had in my life, I got at the British Virgin Islands, the Tortola, these Costa guys with those big dreadlocks on it. They had a place that had been there for 200-something years. Oh my God, it was $7 for a bottle of rum. Even my wife drank it straight. It was so great. It was unbelievable rum. When they used to make them in small batches, rum was really something. I mean, it really has a distinctive taste. The modern corporate ones are garbage as far as I'm concerned. It's probably the same way with beer. I imagine you went to Germany to places that made their own. It's probably fantastic. Deplorable says, Scotty, can you run regular unleaded in a Lexus? Well, I have for a really long time. Most Toyotas are normal compression engines. They're made for regular gas. Some of the fancier ones say always run on high-test gas. Half of that is snob appeal because, no, it's a luxury car. It needs luxury gas. Here's the thing. If you have a really high-tech modern car, you can generally run on any gas you want. As an example, I had a Ford Mustang with that EcoBoost 4-cylinder engine. And if you ran it on high-test gas, it had like 315 horsepower for a 4-cylinder engine, which is a lot. But it even said in the manual, you can run it on regular gasoline, but then you only get like 260 horsepower. So you lose horsepower. But in the modern cars, the computers can compensate for the octane rating in your car, and it doesn't hurt anything. On most Lexuses, you can run them all day long. On regular, you might lose a little power, but it isn't going to hurt anything. Benjamin Seguin says, Scotty, Sis is in the market for a used hybrid. How does a Ford Fusion compare to a Toyota Prius in terms of reliability? The Ford Fusion hybrid, the general running of that thing is the same as a Toyota Prius. They use the same electric motor and the same battery pack that's made by Panasonic. So they're relatively similar vehicles. It's a toss-up for what you want. I'm not a fan of buying used hybrids because they can get really expensive as they age. But if you buy one that has well under 100,000 miles, you probably won't have any problems. But don't go buying one that's got 150,000 miles on it because you're going to put a lot of money into it as it ages. From my experience, whether you buy the Ford or the Toyota Prius. Harriet Cruz says, Scotty, I got an 05 2500 HD Silverado truck. My truck doesn't hold itself up on a small hill. What could it be? If you're talking about you just sitting there and it keeps going backwards, even if you got your foot on a gas, odds are your transmission's starting to slip. That's the most common thing. Now, if you're talking about you step on the emergency brake and it won't hold itself on a hill, those things had one of the crappiest emergency brake systems ever made. They went to this cheap Mickey Mouse setup, and you're going to need to repair it or replace the whole thing. They do sell heavier duty units to replace them with. That was kind of design flaw of those things. I don't know why they put such a crappy emergency brake system on a big truck like that. But if you're talking about that, have that worked on. Or don't park on hills. Funky Barman says, do you think I need new window seals to keep moisture out of my car? And my turn signals don't work when the car lights are on. My wiper motor went out, so did the washer fluid reservoir. Well, one, you got a wiring problem. And if you're getting water in, your window seals aren't going to be damaged in that stuff because the window seals are on the side. And all the controls for the turn signals and the wipers, they're all in the dash. So the water coming from window seals, that isn't going to go that. Now, if you do have water coming in from your windshield in the front, unfortunately, the only way you can fix that is you got to pull the windshield out and reseal it. You can't put extra silicone on the outside because that's not how they work. When they build cars, the frame is naked where the windshield goes in. Then they put glue the whole way around and then they fit the glass over it. And if it does go bad and leak, you got to pull the whole thing out to fix it or it'll still continue to leak. Whatever's leaking, if it's affected your wiring, you got to go under there. And sometimes the modules get shorted out. Sometimes the wiring connectors, when you uncollect them, you'll see they're green. That means they're corroded. You can clean them all off. Be lucky if it was just something like that, a little corrosion. John O'Donnell says, pick me, Scotty, pick me. I have a 2001 Lexus LS430 with cracked bushings on the control arms. Can I replace the bushings? I need to replace the whole control arms. Thanks. They're basically made that you got to replace the whole control arms. You could attempt to take them apart and go to a machine shop and see if they could press things in and out. But from my experience, do what I do. Go aftermarket. There are plenty good companies out there that make the aftermarket control arms with the bushing in brand new that cost like 1/4 of what Lexus gets for the factory ones. Just do that. Then it's just a bolt-off, bolt-on job that you can easily do yourself without any specialty tools. That's how I always do them nowadays. I don't even attempt to rebuild the things.
So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.